I just had a slight heart attack. I was looking everywhere frantically for my purse, but it's under the camera. I've been using it as a tripod forever, so I should have known that it was on my dashboard. Okay, I can breathe. I just got back from the post office, and I wanted to do a quickie car vlog as a follow-up to last night's video. There was no shade at all at the post office, and I was going to stop by Derek's after 2. I knew there wouldn't be any shade there, but I thought I'll go see Derek, but he was leaving his studio to go pick Skylar up, and I'm like, pick Skylar up? It's like 3 o'clock. I'm a little bit late with the packages today. So I told myself, well, I'm not going to Derek's, and I'll just try to find a shady spot on the way home, and there was no shade anywhere on the way home. So I'm at my apartment complex where I pick up my mail, which I try to do at least once a week. I recorded last night about my 1-year anniversary for my apartment. And I knew that I signed the lease mid-September. I believe it was September 18. But it's funny that I didn't remember recording about that in September. It just felt to me like I recorded and said I had my apartment earlier than that. And I found the video, and yeah, I recorded, I think, on August 12, saying that I had just gotten my apartment on the day before, so that must have been the 11th. But I know my lease didn't start until September 18, and I don't even know why I feel like I need to explain this to you, but maybe some of you will say, hey, she told us she had her apartment in August. I think I just grabbed that apartment knowing that it was going to be vacant in September. What I don't remember is when I actually sent them money. I signed the lease on the 18th of September. But do you think I could have lasted from August 11 to September 18 without having really locked that in? So my guess is, and I didn't look, I have to go look at my checkbook from Maine from last year. My guess is that I went ahead and paid for that to make sure. I find it very hard to believe that I waited a month just waiting to pay for that. No, I would have been very, very nervous. So I will have to look just for the hell of it, because now I'm very curious. I do remember sending the money, the check, to Derek, and he was just going to bring it to the office. I mean, I was just like, I want to make sure they get it. So, yeah, and then I paid a prorated amount for September, and I also paid for October at the same time, and I had to pay a water fee and all that. So I don't know when I paid them, but I knew in August that I had an apartment, and then I didn't end up moving till October 31st, and didn't even get into my apartment until, I think for me, I think it was the 27th of November, and then my mother came the 28th of November. I slept one night alone, and then she was coming from hospice. She had gone to hospice in a hospital for 5 days. Hospice let me have her there, so I had time to set up the apartment. So that was really nice. You know, things worked out about as good as they could, considering all the bullshit that I was going through at the time with the movers and all that. But the things that were really important, you know, that worked out all right. Okay, so there's that. And then I also forgot to mention that when I was talking about my neighbors, and the reason I didn't park in front of my apartment, it's shady there. If my neighbor saw me pull up and not get out of my car, she would have come out to see what was wrong. So I didn't want her to worry. I had the world's noisiest neighbors above me. And I know I've said this, and I still mean it. The noise didn't bother me, but it startled me often because it was so loud, and I was like, what are they doing up there? Well, I ended up discovering that the woman's little girl does gymnastics, and I figured that out because one day I saw her doing flips and stuff in the yard. She probably was like 7, 8, 9, I don't know. And that's what she was doing in the apartment just above me. And I sleep in the dining room area, and for some reason, that's where she was doing her stuff, probably like the living room, dining room area. And it was so loud, it would shake the chandelier above my bed, because it was a dining room. And there was like these metal rings, there's metal rings around the thing, and those rings would actually just like bounce up and then end up crooked on the light fixture. It was loud and it was scary. And they moved, and I'm so glad, because I constantly had their cigarette butts on my patio. No joke. I finally had to go to the office and say, look, and I took pictures of above my little patio was their floor with cracks. At that time, I had 21 cigarette butts ready to fall onto my patio. They were just sticking out. And this is after I had just swept all the cigarette butts from the couple days before. I had to go out at least every 2 days and sweep up all those cigarettes. And 2 times I went outside and put out what was the beginning of a fire on the plants. Because sometimes they wouldn't just put them on the floor of their little patio area, but they would just throw them over, and there's plants there, greenery, stuff like that. And one time I thought, wow, somebody's barbecuing. I mean, I just saw smoke billowing, and then I was like, what the hell? That's coming from the ground right in front of my sliding glass door. So I had to go out and put out that cigarette butt. It was about to, engulf in flames. It was very dry, and and then another time it happened again, but it just landed on the ground, but I saw smoke, and I had to go and put that out. And guess what the woman up there does for a living? She worked at the fire department. I'm not kidding. I don't know what she did. I don't know if she answered calls or whatever, but she wasn't very careful when it came to fire. So I finally brought the pictures that I took of those cigarette butts hanging down through the cracks in their floor, and they promptly wrote them a letter, and then it stopped, except for I had to wait till all of those that were up there fell, and then I cleaned those up. That's the only issue I had with that neighbor, and I hated so much to complain, but I was actually concerned about fire. I didn't want that to happen. Is there anything else from last night to tonight? I don't think so. I actually am going to have a new ASMR video using sounds from the public domain. I don't have the time to edit with me on camera. I'm hoping I can get back to that point. But geez, I should be at least knocking out 1 video per week just with sounds. I enjoy that kind of editing because I edit different clips and put them together, and it's a little creative, but it is very time consuming, and I don't know if I really should be investing the time on that. But it's something I enjoy doing, so it can be considered my me time. It seems like there was one more thing I wanted to tell you, but I guess not. I think I'll just upload this and the next video. I really want to do something with fabric, a quilt block maybe, something like that. I need to get back to the creative side. Now there's a woman coming right in front of me and I'm talking and I feel weird. Couldn't you go get your mail later, lady? All right, you guys, I am going to go home. It is very hot. I would be in the pool, but it's Monday and it's closed. I hope the pool is open all this week. I still don't know what time the pool is closing, and I don't feel like going to ask because I don't know which woman is going to be there. That day that I complained about the cigarette butts, she's gone. It was the nice woman in the office, and so I'm afraid of the office though now. School bus, well, I might as well sit here until that goes by. And yeah, so Derek was leaving to pick Skylar up because she happens to have therapy today on a Monday instead of her usual Wednesday. I think he said that they hadn't scheduled out like they normally do, so they had to switch some days. And she's also on a float committee for the homecoming float or floats. I don't know how many there are. I would love for that to be a night that's not too hot. It's this coming Friday, I think, because I do want to see the float she's been working on. And I don't know if there's a parade. I don't know anything. But yeah, so that's where he had to go, and I couldn't believe it when he said picking her up from school that it's this late. I have lots of things to do, but I ended up not starting my packing for the orders until Sunday. Usually I get a nice chunk done Saturday night, but that was the night that I spent a whole lot of time on a video that I never even bothered to upload. Okay, is the bus gone? Not yet. I can't move until they're gone, so you're stuck with me. I can't believe that the bus will even come. You're going to see it go by. Are you or aren't you? Yes. I can't believe that they come into an apartment complex and bring kids. See, he's going to go around there to those apartments there. I don't know, when I was a kid, we had to walk kind of far to the bus stop, and that's where we got dropped off, and then everybody just went to whatever neighborhood they had to go to. I would have never expected them to drop kids off, like, practically at the door, maybe at the beginning of the complex, and let the kids walk, but I guess now they want to be actually safe. I don't know how so many of us kids survived childhood in the 60s and 70s especially. Okay, he's leaving. I'm going home. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.